Klopp's first win at Old Trafford, United lose 2 on a bounce at home, and Liverpool back in the top four race. Hello and welcome to the All Balls channel.
Hello and welcome, guys. It's another review of Game Week 35. I have my friend here, Rahul, with me. We're not in the studio, but we're on a little meeting over here. Rahul, going straight to the matches. Manchester United versus Liverpool. Let's get straight to it.
There's nothing to get to. It was not an embarrassing defeat. I think, the team has put into me, I must eat humble pie and get right at it. But like I messaged, a couple of my friends last night as well, that we got pressed and we got pressed out of the game. We took a 1-0 lead through Bruno, who seems to be our only source along with Cavani for something to happen. Lucky with the own goal, whether it was going in, not going in, is a debate for another day. But big chance before that where Allison gifted Cavani the ball at his feet. And so
Mm.
early in the game, he just lashed out at it. There was a possibility for him to play in Rashford, and that would have been 1-0 with Bruno's deflected shot, probably 2-0. Didn't happen, went 1-0 up, and we're at home. So,
Yeah.
what we need to understand here is United going 1-0 up at home is like a headless chicken. They do not know what to do. They like going 1-0 down and then chasing the game. That is away from home. Here they go 1-0 up. Uh, Liverpool have chances after chances after chances. They're pressing. We're giving the ball away. Now, I'm not really sure if I have to, bite my tongue and say that we missed Harry Maguire, but I would say that we probably missed Harry Maguire, the leader, or rather the guy who has played for so many games and not the defender, because he's as bad as Bailly and Lindelof when it comes to playing out at the back. Shaw had a
Mm.
stinker. Jota, lovely flick. Now Jota has a record that he's played United thrice. He's won against them thrice. Two with Wolves and now once with Liverpool. Firmino did not have a goal versus United. Now he has two. I mean, his first goal was an absolute gift from Pogba. First by giving away the free kick and then
Yeah.
behaving like one little school kid. He just fell down while, trying to mark Firmino, and at the back post, free header. Henderson couldn't do anything about it. Not that he had a good game either. The second one as well, we had a chance. Fred wins it back, plays it to Shaw. Fred loses it, plays it to Shaw.
Mm.
He loses the ball. Then he wins it back, gives it to Shaw. Shaw tries to dribble his way out of defense. That's unreal. You are under
Yeah.
pressure. Those guys are pressing. He tries to dribble his way out of defense, loses the ball again. Again, Firmino with an easy finish. Henderson with the mistake. So it's errors, and a lot of errors. You can blame Greenwood probably, but I think he did his best with the shot. It was good defending by Liverpool. United got themselves back with Rashford. Then Ole showed why he's a tactical disaster, because when you're chasing the game, he has taken
Yeah.
he has brought Matic on when there's Diallo and Van de Beek on the bench. I do not understand this guy. Like, I really do not understand. Pogba on the left is an absolute waste. Pogba playing in the center of midfield cannot defend. I can only imagine what he'll do on the left. Trent Alexander Arnold was their man of the match. He was running
Mm.
the show from right back. It's not often that you get to hear that in a top flight Premier League game with that kind of rivalry, a right back is running a game. Where there was, I probably didn't see a Thiago as much. I didn't see a Wijnaldum. I didn't see a Salah for the first half. It was Trent Alexander-Arnold all the way. Like, if you gave him a
Mm.
9.9 rating, the next player after him was probably a 7. And no
Yeah.
United player
Absolutely agree with you.
was above a 5. Yeah, no United player was above a 5. So,
Mm.
then it was just a matter of when the next goal would come, because United were going all out to get that draw. Matic, of all people, had to lose the ball. And once Salah is through, he's through. Like I said in the
Yeah.
pre-match as well, Salah coming up with, something is, it's inevitable because he's not scored for a few games. He's not been in his element. There were other controversies surrounding the game, like, the protest before, the Mane incident after the game. Then comes the biggest question: is Henderson our number one? David De Gea was in mad form against Roma. He made some great saves. He was in good form against the Leicester, a Leicester side where United was a weakened side. Now you've lost Harry Maguire at the back. It is not the same defense you're playing with. Bring in an experienced keeper. Henderson showed his inexperience where he ran back when Salah was coming towards him, did not narrow the angle. And like even the pundits in the Premier League show said, he just made it easy for them. You know,
Mm.
Roy Keane with all his rants
Was
had nothing to say. Gary Neville had no face in front of Jamie Carragher. Michael Owen, being a Liverpool striker himself, was actually disappointed with the way United played after they went 1-0 up. And probably so were all the other fans because they played like shit. They were complacent. It looked like they had nothing to play for. Liverpool looked like a team that really wanted it. They pressed like they were pressing last season, and United just crumbled. They crumbled under the pressure. The defense could not cope with it. Fred should go back to Brazil, dig a hole, kill himself, and bury himself in it. Uh, Cash in on Pogba probably because he's again hot and cold. And that's the difference. If Greenwood was playing in place of a Pogba, he would have supported a Luke Shaw when Trent Alexander-Arnold and Salah attacked from that side. Luke Shaw was exposed, yes, but he probably had his worst game this season, considering how well he's done for us. Everything aside, Bruno getting 27 goals this season, Salah got his 124th goal. Probably Mane overshadowed the entire game with that little incident in front of the cameras at the end of the game. Klopp getting his first win at Old Trafford. So a lot of things, but yes, big points for Liverpool, and I can take a breath now. And they're in form. Liverpool are in form. They're unbeaten in their last seven. 5 wins, 2 draws. They're back in the Champions League race. Chelsea and Leicester are shitting green peas right now because they're playing each other. Liverpool have 3 relatively easy fixtures, winnable fixtures. In this form, should win fixtures. These are Salah triple captain fixtures because now he's in form. All of a sudden, against United, you score, and there's a fireball up your butt crack, and you're running everywhere to score goals. So it's a dicey situation for Leicester, Chelsea. I just feel bad for Leicester if they drop out again, but that seems the most likely scenario where Leicester might drop out because they play Chelsea and Spurs. These are not easy games. So I see Liverpool probably coming in, but then again, they have one game at Anfield. It's not been their best. But yes, credit where it's due. Mr. Marmin Paul, Mr. Scott Sellis, you did press us and you did beat us, and the game finally happened. The only thing positive is we had no injuries, and that Ole gave an interview like a manager towards the end of the game saying, yes, they outplayed us. They were clearly the better team, and we did not know what to do. He did not blame injuries. He did not blame the fixture list, though it was a concern. And yeah, I mean, screw you, Trevor Sinclair, in the middle of all of this for saying what you said after the Leicester game. Like, I'll take that fireball and shove it up your butt crack. But yes, I'm finally done.
I guess we'll leave it at that. Well done, Liverpool.
Huge loss for Leicester at home to Newcastle. Carl, big win for Newcastle, though they're safe, but huge one for Leicester.
Well, yeah, they finally did open a nice big 12-point gap between them and the relegation zone. So I guess Steve Bruce can finally breathe a sigh of relief, grab a couple of kebabs from the kebab shop, and probably celebrate that they're still back in the Premier League. But it was a very cagey match, though. I really did like it. I mean, I did like the way Newcastle actually went at Leicester, and that guy Joe Willock, he scored 5 goals ever since he's joined Newcastle, and he's not. I mean, no one in the current Arsenal squad, even though he's on loan from Arsenal, no one in the current Arsenal squad has scored that much since the time his loan has moved. Since he's done his loan move. So, I mean, kudos to Newcastle, but it was something to worry about for Leicester City. I mean, you think Leicester City were going as favourites in this game?
And especially the fact that Newcastle were 4-0 up at a point.
Mm.
And, Leicester pulled it back. Iheanacho again in the middle of the goals. But before, if that United win had not come later in the week, if it would have stayed at this loss, Leicester would have been struggling.
Absolutely, and I guess they should credit that win as well. But this should have also been something in which Brendan Rodgers should have taken seriously. I think Brendan Rodgers does do a lot of homework when it comes to the big teams, but I think he takes too much of confidence when it comes to teams like Newcastle and Brighton and things like that. And these are the games where, yes, of course, with a quality team like Leicester, you would expect him to win those games, but you can't take everything for granted. And I think he took Newcastle for granted. He just thought like, okay, fine, these guys are secure. They're probably just going to fight for one more point to save themselves from relegation. So we should just steamroll them easily. And I think the blitz that Newcastle came with, especially with Callum Wilson also just coming up, popping up with two goals. Yeah, like I think that completely surprised the Leicester teams. Like, and yeah, Martin Dubravka also saved several shots as well. It's not like Leicester didn't take any options or something like that. But again, it was just a resolute defense by Newcastle. Credit to them. But a lot of work to do for Leicester.
Yes, and considering Leicester have a striker who scored 10 goals in the month of March, in El
Mm.
Nacho, they had 9 shots on target this game. Uh, Very rarely do you hear that a team like Leicester, with the quality they have, having so many shots and scoring lesser than your opponents. But
Yeah.
credit to Newcastle, they've been on a good run. They've got form at the right time, and like we all know now, the teams are down. The three relegated teams are down, so they're secure, and it's probably just now ending the season on a high and then taking it from there, taking that momentum and starting the next season well. So big win for them, and yeah, Leicester have put themselves in a must-win situation for the last couple of games, which is going to be interesting.
Yeah, I really like to see how the season is going to unfold. I mean, we all know, of course, well, how the winners have. I mean, who's won the league and stuff like that. But the race to Europe is going to be really interesting towards the end of the season. Our next matchup takes us to Ellen Road, Leeds, getting the one-up-ins over Tottenham Hotspurs. Phew. So Rahul,
I said it.
I'm really
I
happy
said
for
it.
Tottenham.
You don't
Not
want to be in a position. You don't want to be in a position to play Leeds the form they are in at the moment, because Bielsa is just on this run where he's like, screw you, I'm ending this season on a high. He's got 15 wins this season, since first time since 2001, 2002, and they're just playing. I mean, Stuart Dallas, he
Mm.
is defender of the year. The man just runs and runs and runs. He does not stop. He does not tire. He does it week in, week out, and he's getting the goals. He started it off for Leeds. He scored some important goals for them in the past. The winner versus Man City being the most important, down to 10 men, running the length of half the field in the 93rd minute. That was madness. So they're just doing great. They're finally linking again like they used to. And I think it's safe to say that the first game they played versus Liverpool, that's how they linked, with Harrison, with Dallas, with Luke Ayling. They're playing the football they like to play, but the difference here is that they don't look vulnerable in midfield anymore. They
Mm-hmm.
seem to have it in control. They seem to have defenders who can cover for that, midfielders who can cover for that. I personally feel Stuart Dallas is someone who should play in midfield rather than playing at either of the fullbacks, because he has the passing quality, he has a shot on him, and he can use both feet. You have Alioski
Absolutely.
and you have Luke Ayling for both your wing backs. But for me, Dallas has to play in the center. Him, Kevin Phillips, and Click in the middle can do wonders for this Leeds team. With Bamford up top, Rafinha coming back, Rodrigo coming off the bench to score, Harrison on one side, Elder Postiga on the bench. They have quality. They have a decent amount of bench strength. And yeah, they've beaten a Spurs side who finally have looked to attack after the entire season. Thank you, Jose Mourinho, for leaving so that we can see the likes of Bale, Son, and Kane trying to play attacking football. Yes, it cost them, but it was at least nice to watch. And the biggest point for Leeds here is they did it without Phillips. He
Mm-hmm.
came on
Yeah.
late to close the game, but it's huge. For Leeds, it's huge. They're doing well in the top flight, and I think they're here to stay.
Well, I mean, you also got to give a lot of credit to Patrick Bamford. I mean, he's along with Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Harry Kane are the three highest scoring Englishmen in the league right now. And I think one of the biggest talking points on this match was also Harry Kane's disallowed goal. Now, I know we've had our reservations about VAR and how horrible it can get, whether you're a supporter of your own club or a football purist. But I mean, come on, the Harry Kane disallowed goal was a bit too. I mean, that's really, really like threading a needle, man. I mean, like, really, did they have to disallow it for that much of space?
So he should have, like, there was a joke that said that he should have just cut his toenails before coming for the game, which didn't make sense because he's worn studs over them. But I mean, VAR has been really inconsistent. I think after a good 6 to 7 months, the first time during the United Liverpool game, after a while, there was a statement made that VAR was put to good use when Bailly nicked the ball off Phillips. The referee gave a penalty, and he turned it himself by going to the screen. Now, if you compare that to this incident, yes, it's taking away from the game, but think about it. If the penalty was given, if there was no VAR, that would have been a shit decision in the United game. But then again, the linesman is not equipped to look at that as an offside, what VAR just did. You give me one
Hmm,
linesman in the history of football who will catch that and I'll bow down to the guy. He can't do it.
true.
It's not even centimeters, it's millimeters.
Yeah.
I don't even
Yeah.
think it's plural.
I,
It's millimeter. Like it's probably like a couple. It's that tight, and it's sad. You get angry, but then again, that's the game today. You got to live with it. People are using VAR to their advantage. You see players going down in the box easily. Raheem Sterling flies off his feet when a shoelace hits him. We'll come to that, but it's it, it's changed the game. It's the order of the day. VAR is in. We can't do anything about it. So we just probably have to live with it over the next couple of seasons until it gets to the accuracy of what it did for the buy penalty or for other instances which have happened in the past. Spurs being on the receiving end, Lo Celso's stamp by Fleck, no sending off, this offside changing the entire complexion of the game. So teams will feel that way, but like I said, you have to live with it. That's the game today.
yeah, but even that stamp, though, I mean, I mean, I guess that just sums up Tottenham Hotspur's season. You know, like Leeds has ended their chances of Champions League football. They have finally ended
Smile,
it over
smile.
there. European football. But yeah, the stamp on Fleck, though, I mean, that's something else that we need to talk about. But it was horrible. But hey, it's a Spurs loss. I'm not complaining. So
Exactly. So with that huge smile on your face, we will go on to our next game. Chelsea beat Man City again. That's 2 out of 2 for Tuchel versus Pep, and I feel it wasn't deserved. I'm not taking anything away from the football Chelsea played. Yes, they were much better second half. Like what Trent did to United, Reece James took the Man City left hand side to the cleaners in the second half. But unlucky Man City with the Aguero cockiness and the topic we just spoke about, VAR. I want to start with that. Tell me that was not a penalty on Sterling. The second tackle by Zuma. That was as clear as day. There is no logical explanation as to how Zuma is going to get the ball off Sterling when he is behind the man and Sterling is goal side. Zuma is
Mhm.
not goal side. He's not at his side. He has clearly clipped his ankle and need him, in the hamstring. He has stopped him from taking a shot. Sterling is through on goal. He's brought him down, and the referee has not even gone to the screen. The United game, referee gave the penalty. In fact, if you look at it correctly, he thought about it. He gave himself a moment. He took a couple of seconds, then pointed to the spot, then checked VAR, went to the screen, looked at a couple of replays because that was clear, and then he overturned his decision. This was not looked at, and the outcome was Chelsea coming back and scoring 3 minutes later. Unusual circumstances. You've not seen City concede late goals this season. Like one of the pundits very correctly said on the show that the change in City this season is that they've started respecting defending.
Mm.
With Pep and City, first it was you score four, I'll score six. Now
Yeah.
it's they've respected the aspect of defending. Diaz has come in. Stones is a new player. Mendy doesn't deserve to play in this team. Cancelo, Walker, Zinchenko for that matter. I rate Fernandinho over Rodri a lot after that game, but
Mhm.
it was just unlucky for Man City. First, the penalty. Now, again, I don't blame Aguero. He's done so much for you. If he takes, he screwed up. He missed a penalty. It's just the amount of shit he's getting is because of how he missed it.
Mm.
Now, if that would have gone in, this would have completely turned on his head that, oh my God, he's leaving with a bang. Who does that in his second last game at home and shit like that? Just because he missed, I think it's unfair on him. But it's the situation of the game. You're 1-0 up against Chelsea. You have a chance to go 2-0 up against a Tuchel side that barely concede goals.
Mhm.
So it's a very sensitive topic in terms of Aguero, but I think Chelsea played the better football second half. They didn't deserve the win. I probably still feel that City were hard done by the VAR and the last minute goal. But to
Mhm.
be fair, I think Chelsea did deserve a point from it.
Well, yeah, I mean it's a precursor to the Champions League final, which they're going to play soon. But I think it was more of Guardiola also. Maybe as you said, I completely agree with you when you say that they started respecting. Excuse me, they started respecting defenders, which is very different from Guardiola football, which we are so used to. Um, I also think Aguero probably being his last appearance in a Man City shirt, and yeah, he fluffed that penalty, but he looked a bit jaded from the start. Even he had the chance which Raheem Sterling scored, and it didn't. It looked like his first touch was so poor, whereas normally the old Aguero would have that sunk in already. So maybe, excuse me, I have something in my throat. But maybe I guess it is his last season. He's probably just enjoying his football as much as he can as possible. But yeah, you could say that cost a game. But Tuchel now is under really big. I mean, he's beaten Zidane, Guardiola, Klopp, Mourinho, and Ancelotti, and with only one goal conceded. That's a pretty big stat though for Tuchel, who's
He
just
does
taken
not.
over.
They do not let goals go in at the back. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
And to concede two, and we've discussed this before, where I said you score two against Chelsea, you're in with a big, big chance to win because Tuchel does not concede, yes, but Tuchel's team barely scores as many goals. You saw a
Mhm.
ZH goal after a while, good low shot, but this is all second half. This is after a team talk. Now, how many goals are you going to score in a half if you play that kind of football with five attacking and five sitting back? So it's still a tricky situation. While they say yes, they're title contenders and stuff like that. Okay, great. I agree. They're playing some amazing football. They're defending well. To win titles, you need to keep clean sheets. You need your defenders to be there. But I still feel that there is a vulnerability in terms of scoring goals, and they just got lucky, honestly, with the VAR, which would have, been City's 21st penalty, 11 of the 20 which they've scored, 9 they've missed.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, Aguero having that miss. But I I see the Champions League as an entirely different game. It's a
Mhm.
neutral venue. And believe me, Pep's not the manager who's going to lose to one manager thrice. I don't think he's going to get sleep at night. He's going to grow hair and then he's going to beat Tuchel and then shave his head bald just to prove a point. He's that good. Look at what he's done. November, December, City weren't even in contention for the title, and they win it with 3 or 4 games to spare with that goal difference. That's a Spanish league goal difference, man. Plus 40 odd is Spanish league where Messi, Ronaldo, and all these guys are playing. At that time, I'm talking Madrid, Barca, when there were two teams battling and they were like plus 47, plus 48. What is that goal difference? And you still
True.
have the balls to play, Nathan Ake in games. He's a relegated Bournemouth defender. I will never get over that. You can take me to my grave. I will put my head out and say that he does not deserve to be in a City team. But he still played that and he put his team in a position to win. So Pep's not the manager who is going to lose third time in a row. Even if he does, I think it'll be penalties or it'll be a deflection or it'll just be Chelsea turning into this unrealistic, invincible Arsenal side, where nothing, you can't do anything against an Andre or Bergkamp in a Vieira at that moment of time. But yeah, it was a hard win for Chelsea, unlucky one for City. Didn't make a difference to City, huge difference to Chelsea. But we'll come to Chelsea later on in this show as well.
Our next matchup is at Villa Park. Villa succumbing to Manchester United, 3 goals to 1, and Mason Greenwood again amongst the goals.
Seems like a generation ago where we got a win because we go away from home, we win the game against Villa over the weekend, and then boom, two home losses. Fun fact, I'm not sure if you know this, but United has lost 6 games this season. All 6 of them have been at home. We have not lost a single game away from home. It's unbelievable. Of Old Trafford was your fortress. You've given stupid reasons like the seat color matches the jersey color, and hence the players used to get confused. You change the seat covers. Now, what else you have to do? Change the ground. It's unbelievable that Fergie comes for the home games and he just sees United lose 6 times. And thrice
Yeah.
they've conceded 3 goals. Palace has scored 3 against them. Liverpool put 4 past them. Spurs have put 6 past them. Unfortunately, it was that frowny face as their manager at that point in time.
Yeah.
But suddenly, when we go away from home, there is this calm. So when I was watching the game, I still remember 1-0 down at halftime, and I'm like, it's chill. Because there is a tendency, there is something that is going to happen. And if you notice all these games, all these away games that we've come back in, the first goal, the equalizer, and the lead are not too far apart. And somehow it
True.
is always Greenwood who scores the goal which gets you into the lead. He did it against West Ham. He did it a couple of more times. I don't know the teams, and he did it again. And the boy
Yeah.
is just growing. Like, he's past Wayne Rooney in the number of goals scored by a teenager. Wayne Rooney is known as a once in a generation player, and he has gone past him. He played Greenwood. Now, this I'm talking about Greenwood, and I'm saying this that he played against a Leicester with a side full of kids. There was an 18-year-old on one side, another 18-year-old on the other side, and Greenwood in the middle, who's 19. And Ole is like, he seemed like a 29-year-old. Like, he is his go-to man when he gets goals. It's unbelievable how good he is. Villa, on the other hand, well, I'm not sure if Traore meant that, but it was a peach, top corner, keeper, no chance. Again,
Yeah.
Lindelof,
Great.
he made Lindelof look very mediocre. For me, Lindelof is a very artistic kind of defender. He likes to play the ball out from the back, make those really nice, smooth passes. If you get physical with him, he will crumble. That is
Mhm.
Victor Lindelof for you. So,
Yeah.
unfortunately or fortunately, maybe for United and me personally, different opinions, but we lost Harry Maguire in that game. Hopefully, after looking at the Liverpool game, we might have him back for the finals. If not, hopefully we'll see him for England because he's a way better player over there. But
Mhm.
it was just, I don't know, there is something that happens when United go away where the team and the fans are like, bro, hold my beer, I got this. 1-0
True.
down, 2-0 down, it's fine. And then what do you do after going 2-1 up? You bring on Cavani, who moves and
Yeah.
shows you that the Villa defense, that's a Villa defense that's being coached by John Terry. And he
Yeah.
made their movement and their marking look mediocre. It was non-existent when he made that run. Like, it was a simple run in and a header, and it was termed as classy by the commentators. For what reason, I do not know. Yes, it was a great goal, but it was just the movement. He moves so swiftly. He has the most goals as a substitute this season. I mean,
Mhm.
it's ironical that he's being managed by Ole. But yeah, he's got 10 goal involvements in his last 7 games. He's signed a new contract. He's our number 9. But then again, I fear that now that we've signed a contract with him, do we get in another big striker? Because Greenwood and Rashford can play centrally. Marshall's not had the best of seasons, but still need that big name if City get in reinforcements like Leva and stuff like that. Haaland in the talks. Away victories are going to be far-fetched next season, I guess, with the defense that we have. But it was a good win. It got us the 3 points in the 3 games, fortunately. Otherwise, not 1 out of 9 or 0 out of 9 would have been embarrassing after the shit I've said in the past few weeks. But it is what it is. It was our only win. And yeah, that secures second place. 6 points out of 6 for Arsenal this week. First one against Feel bad knocking West Brom out, but goals of great quality. You must be happy with that Willian free kick, his first goal for the club, and that Pepe belter.
Well, it was a great game. I'm pretty happy. I mean, as an Arsenal fan, I should be happy that we won a game. But again, I told you what you cannot kill what is already dead inside, as we've already had a horrible season. So but yeah, great win. And it feels a little bit better because I remember seeing something online where there was a point where Sam Allardyce said that Arsenal were their relegation contenders. And it felt good that we were the ones that got them relegated. And it's nice to finally even end Sam Allardyce is the escape artist himself to finally
Yeah,
have them
that's
relegated. Or else he's always used to, somehow getting them out of a hole. So it's sad. I feel sorry for West Brom. I mean, they are the most relegated club in the history of the Premier League. They've been relegated 5 times. But I mean, if someone has to go down, it has to be them. But it was great quality goals. Willian, a little too late. I mean, he kind of sucked the whole season, but somehow came up with a peach of a free kick, which I really can't say much. I mean, it was a superb free kick, unless you want to say it was bad goalkeeping. But yeah, great game. And I have to say, Bukayo Saka. I mean, we talk a lot about young English talent. We talk about, Phil Foden from Man City and even Billy Gilmore in Chelsea as well. And a lot of other young players, even Mason Greenwood that we spoke about earlier. But Bukayo Saka is one player that we really need to build around. We need to build a team around this guy. It's him and Emil Smith Rowe that we really need to build a team around. I mean, just get rid of the deadwood. I've said this also online also. Just get rid of the deadwood, build a team around these young core players. And believe me, will thrive. It will take us a couple of years. You'll probably see me bashing my head onto the wall a couple of years more. But you know what? I've seen far worse. I'm the Arsenal supporter who got to see Scolacci and Chamak in the same team. All right, so nothing nothing can scare me as much as seeing how further low we can go. So you know what? Bring out your dead, Arsenal. Do the best that you can.
don't talk about Chamak, okay? I still remember you guys were playing Reading. I'm pretty sure it was
Yeah,
Reading, but was it? I'm not sure if it was the Carling Cup or the FA Cup. I think it was the Carling Cup, which is, the EFL Cup now. But
yeah.
you were 3-0 down. Then you went 5-3 down. And it was
Yeah.
Marwan Shamak who chipped the keeper, or rather lobbed the keeper to give you that equalizing goal. Okay, so you better not say shit about them after you had strikers like bloody Nicholas Bentner in your team.
Yeah.
So please, I think you'll do way. But speaking of Saka and young English talent, he's got what 19 assists.
Yeah.
That's the most. That's unreal for an Arsenal player to have those many. Even if it's since when he's made his debut, it's still. I mean, come on, he's a kid and he plays with confidence. I still remember the confidence he showed, my God, in that post match interview in your first leg against Chelsea when he chipped the keeper with his right foot. And he's
Yeah.
like, I meant it. Oh my God. He's like, of course I meant it. Like, wow, bro. Kudos. But
No, but
Big Sam, how do I
yeah.
like how does someone call Arsenal a relegation contender? I want to know that because it's you're talking about a team that has won Premier League trophies. They've gone a season unbeaten. Yes, they're having a blip. Everyone does. United won the season, changed the manager, finished seventh.
Yeah.
So teams have blips. You guys probably just the players and the kind of managers that have come and gone and the changes in system that have happened over the past few seasons. Arteta is
Hmm.
finally getting something in place. He got the Community Shield. He won the FA Cup. Uh, how does that statement, does it play on the mind of an Arteta when he's playing Sam in that final game?
I see if you know the history of what Big Sam Allardyce has said in the past. I mean, this is a guy who almost sold out the English team when he was part of the English setup. I mean, that's why he had to step down. If you know his history clearly. So you really have to take whatever he says with a very big pinch of salt. It's not. It's like it's water over the duck's back. So he's taken West Brom to their fifth ever relegation, and it had to be him in charge, which I really couldn't be bothered. But for him to say something like that is just Big Sam being Big Sam. It's just him being a professional shit stirrer, which he always has been in the past as well. He is a larger than life personality, of course, as you can see. But yeah, I guess it's just him trying to stir shit. That's all I can say. And yes, we are a team in transition. I told you, you cannot kill what is dead inside. I hate to repeat it all the time. But yeah, this has just been a season of mediocrity for Arsenal. I do always, as any supporter for any club would say, they have hope for the next season, hoping that things will get better. But time will tell. And apparently now the board is going to be backing Arteta as well. It's not that we're going to be getting a new manager. So I guess it's going to be another season of Mikel Arteta. So it all depends on the summer transfers. Again, it all depends on who we're getting rid of, who we're trying to get in, and who we're trying to even promote higher to the team. Because you talk about Saka, maybe tomorrow, I mean, maybe next year at the same point, we might be talking about Folarin Balogun. So hopefully that's going to be the case, and hopefully we'll get to also bring in younger players who can prove themselves and at the same time invest in the transfer market. So it's up for grabs. Let's see. Fingers crossed. But again, I'm not keeping my hopes too high as an Arsenal fan because we've been so down in the dumps now that nothing really scares us or makes us happy now. Like it's just misery at this point.
From a manager who's here to stay to a manager who has been relegated for the first time in 30 years. God bless you, Big Sam. We will see you next season. It's probably another team who's going to get relegated.
Don't let the door hit you out, hit you on your way out.
The next 3 points for Arsenal came at the bridge, where a certain Jorginho screwed up. What? Please tell me. Please, first of all, is the bus okay? I mean, is the paint, have you parked it well? You didn't park a bus. Oh, sorry, my bad. You didn't park a bus. You parked a freaking spaceship.
Yeah. And you know
Why?
what? I'll take it.
You have the
I'll
players
take
to play the football. You pressed
I
Chelsea
don't
into
care.
their
Honestly,
But
I
you
don't
pressed
care.
Chelsea and got your goal. You played so well. I'm not taking a dig at you. I'm saying
Yeah.
that you press them brilliantly for those first 15, 20 minutes when they had the ball. Yes, you only pressed their back four, but you
Mhm.
pressed them so well that you got the first goal. But I didn't understand why you decided to suck in the pressure for the rest of the game when you have the ball playing players to run with it and make things happen.
I think there were moments in the game where we did try to push, but I guess it's again the quality of the Chelsea defense that came out. And I'll be honest, I'm just really happy because I remember last season when Jorginho shouldn't have been on the pitch for Arteta's first match. I think it was Arteta's first match in charge of Arsenal. I guess it's just karma coming to bite him in the butt. And I'm so happy because that back pass, of course, was absolutely criminal. For a guy like Kepa, I think I give him full credit for a guy who's been so horribly criticized that he was able to pull off that stop. And even Emil Smith Rowe's goal, if you actually look
Was
at it,
lucky.
even after he scored, he looked really because he knew he didn't even middle the ball properly. He knew he didn't hit it right. And he just literally went to Aubameyang, gave him a hug. He's like, thanks for passing to me. But he's like, bro, I honestly didn't think that this was going to go at the back of the net. It just hit the post and went in. And what confounded Jorginho's misery even more, whatever I felt was karma biting him in the butt, was the last opportunity he had at the end of it, where it came as a rebound off of him. And I was
Off
like, you
of
know what?
the goal kick.
No, it came off the goalkeeper, sorry. So I was like, you know what? That's it. That's just sums up the game. We, in a way, not deserve to win. Yeah, we did park the bus, but I think it was just karma
Spaceship.
coming back to bite Jorginho in the butt. And if it had to come at the cost of Chelsea losing a game, so be it, because we lost that game last year because of Jorginho. So fair enough. I'll take that win. I'll take that win any day. And I have to give a lot of credit to not only Smith Rowe and Aubameyang. Again, Aubameyang getting an assist, but I have to talk a lot about Thomas Partey, who I think was fantastic in the game. I mean, he literally had 100 take-ons, 89 pass accuracy. That's a lot of big numbers that he has. But another big shout out goes to the Pyramid Pirlo, that is Mohamed Elneny. I think he was my man of the match for that game. And thanks to that, we actually do have the opportunity in where we have blown basically everyone's European aspirations wide open. We have a very outside chance of make it to Europe, whichever way possible. I mean, we just got to win our last few games and then hope for the best that everyone else screws up. Which, you know what, it doesn't scare me because Arsenal's also capable of screwing up as well. We lose or draw the next couple of games, and then European hopes are gone. So I'm happy that we beat Chelsea. I know a lot of my salty Chelsea friends in the studio are not particularly happy with it, but I'll take it. And it's our first double over Chelsea. What, since 2011? I think it's been 10 years or 11 years or something. So I'll take it. It's from a season which we have been mediocre as much. These are the little battles which I'll be happy. I'll consider them as highlights of the season when we have our season review as well. So yeah,
Shit flipped quite fast where Havertz misses a one-on-one, Mount hits holding in the head from point blank range,
yeah,
and Jorginho does a Jorginho. But yeah, good win. You've technically both of us together have made sure that Chelsea and Leicester played two cup finals in the span of 4 days. One cup final for the trophy and an actual six-pointer in the Premier League. But good win for Arsenal, good loss for Chelsea. Speaking from personal aspirations and my other friends from other teams. But yeah, it was a good 3 points. Sucked it in, got the pressure in, and got the points.
yeah.
Third and fourth place up for grabs. Arsenal back in contention. That does it for this week's episode. Also, do not forget to catch me on a super fan episode with Man United's Azim Banatwala.
And also don't forget to catch me on our All Ball special with Hyderabad FC Sahil Tamora.
And while you're at it, do not forget to like, share, subscribe, follow us on Instagram. Stay safe.
Peace.